Council meeting for April 6, 2023. We're going to have our roll call. Ms. Marsh?
Mayor Clea McCaw,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Carolyn Humphrey,
Present.
Councilmember William Benning,
Present.
Councilmember Gregory Johnson, Councilmember Angelica Landry,
Present.
Councilmember Marta Mesmer,
Present.
Councilmember Mark Rodriguez.
Present.
Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll have our invocation by Councilman Rodriguez and our pledge of allegiance by Councilwoman Landry. Please stand.
Please bow your heads and pray to your God as I pray to mine. Lord, we thank you for letting us all be here today in good health and with a place to go home to. Some of us are not as fortunate as us when it comes to those things that we may take for granted every day. As we move into fire season, please watch over and protect all those who may end up in harm's way, including those brave men and women who choose to fight those fires as their profession. Thank you for making us a community that is filled with people who care for their neighbors they may have never met before, but treat them like they're one of their family. For those celebrating Easter this weekend, may they enjoy and find joy in your resurrection. For those not celebrating, may they still have a safe, peaceful weekend full of beautiful weather for things like Easter egg hunts, etc., that is all made possible by you. In all this we pray, amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May I have your seats? Item 1, Councilwoman Mesmer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I move that the,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I move that the consent agenda consisting of the special minutes of March 22nd, 2023, regular minutes of March 2023, and the resolution of 2023-019 and pre-annexation agreement for APN #106-71-327 be approved.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion before that.
Roger that.
I move that the agenda for the regular city council meeting of April 6, 2023 be approved.
Second.
Yeah. Good. So it's been properly moved, properly second, and properly point of order. Thank you. And we have a motion on the floor. Second, any questions, comments? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? It is passed. Now we have our presentations and awards, and we call Mr. McLaughlin. No problem.
Wait, look at it looking good. That's my map.
Yes, sir. Proclamation. Whereas the 1968 and 1988 Federal Fair Housing Acts declared that it is a national policy to ensure equal opportunities in housing, and whereas these acts prohibit discrimination in the sale, rental, leasing, and financing of housing or land on the basis of race, color, national origin, religion, sex, disability, or familiar status. And whereas April 2023 marks the 55th annual celebration of Fair Housing Month. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Clea McCaw, Mayor of Sierra Vista, the City of Sierra Vista, Arizona, do hereby proclaim April 2023 to be Fair Housing Month, and in for the City of Sierra Vista. In witness of, I have hereto set my hand in cause of the Great Seal of the City of Sierra Vista to be affixed this 6th day of April, the year of our Lord, 2023, in the independence of the United States of America, the 246th. Clea McCaw, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This resolution plays into the city's role of raising public awareness on the importance of fair housing and ending housing discrimination. Housing discrimination can be subtle or can be overt. It can take many different forms. For example, if you're a pregnant woman seeking out a loan on a house and the lender asks if you're intending to take maternity leave and your application is turned down, that could be discrimination based on gender. If you are you have a family and amenities are not available to your children, that could be a form of age discrimination. If you are disabled and you live in an apartment complex with 5 or more units and you requested a reasonable accommodation and that's denied, you may have a claim for housing discrimination. If you are a recent immigrant to this country and there are disparate conditions between your housing unit and other units on the property, or benefits are being afforded to other residents and not to you, you may be discriminated against based on your national origin. And we encourage people, if they are discriminated against, to reach out to the Fair Housing Council, who can help you seek recourse and provide legal assistance. You can also contact the Arizona Attorney General. They have a fair housing office. And I do want to recognize Randy here from We Serve. He has a realty company in this community, and they're on the front lines to upholding fair housing laws. And I don't know if you have anything to say.
Well, we just, the Department of Real Estate has just reinstated a new form that all tenants, and anytime that you buy a house, it's all about fair housing, that we just implemented the beginning of this year to remind all of our agents and the people that are seeking, homes, that they're protected, and also to remind the agents that they have a responsibility to provide fair housing for everyone. So it's a great new form that all the brokers in town have implemented into their packets, and we've even had it on our website and things like that to promote fair housing.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Take that back to your organization.
Definitely will. Thank
All
you.
right. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. McLaughlin. And we will proceed to our Senior Manager report. Mr. Patuchek.
Thank you, Mayor McCaw, members of the council. Your next regularly scheduled work session is scheduled for Tuesday, the 25th of April, 3 p.m. here in the council chambers, and we'll highlight your continuing discussion of next fiscal year's budget, focusing on personnel costs next meeting. And then, of course, your regular meeting will then be Thursday, the 27th, 5 p.m., also here in the council chambers. A few projects to update you on tonight. Roadrunner Park Design RFP is in procurement now, and we'll be opening that solicitation very quickly. The Garden Canyon Linear Park Phase 2 ADA paths at St. Andrews Drive, that bid is also in procurement and is in the same status and will be coming out soon. The wastewater master plan, we've received the bid on that, and it's under evaluation, so we'll let you know when that is completed. And then the Ramada replacement at Veterans Park has been awarded to K&G and is estimated for completion by June 30th. We just received the February sales tax report yesterday, and I'm pleasantly surprised to report to you that we had a bounce back in February. So we're actually up 9.44% for the year. So instead of drifting downward as it was looking, the numbers look pretty good. Although a lot of it was in construction sales tax, which may be a one-time shot. But overall, a better report. And if that continues next month, we might be able to increase our sales tax projection for next budget year a little bit. So good news there. And finally, I regretfully announce the upcoming retirement of Chief Adam Thrasher of our police department. And that will be occurring in the mid-July timeframe. And certainly there'll be more on that, and I know he wants to have a big party for that.
Yeah, he told me himself.
And, and I'm sure there will be a lot of people with a lot of good things to say about the chief at that time, so I won't do that tonight. But nonetheless, that's coming up pretty quickly. So,
Sir.
and that's all I have tonight. Thank you, Mayor McConnell.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, comments for the city manager? All right. Proceed to item number 2, Councilwoman Mesmer. Down.
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
I move that the consent agenda consisting of the special minutes of March 22nd, 2023, the regular minutes of March 2023, and the resolution of 2023-0919, a pre-annexation agreement for APN #106-71-327 be approved.
Second.
It's been probably moved in second. Any comments, questions? All those ready for the question? All those in favor, say aye. All those opposed? Thank you. We'll move to our new business. Mr. Benning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I move that Resolution 2023-020, restating the city's commitment, restating the city's commitment to fair housing in Sierra Vista be approved.
Second.
Staff report, Mr. McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. HUD and local governments across the nation are celebrating fair housing this month. 55 years ago, the Fair Housing Act was signed into law by President Johnson 1 week after the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King. As you mentioned in your proclamation, any person, regardless of race, religion, familial status, gender, sexual orientation, disability, is protected from housing discrimination. It's illegal across this country. And so this resolution before you essentially affirms our support for furthering fair housing in Sierra Vista, which is a requirement of our Community Development Block Grant Program. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? Concerns? Everybody ready for the question? All those in favor? Say aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item number 4, Councilwoman Humphrey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that ordinance, I got you, 2023-002, adding Chapter 34 Revenue Collection to Title III Administration to the City of Sierra Vista Code of Ordinances be approved.
Second.
Staff report, Mr. Felix.
Mayor, members of council, the city goes through and we do try to collect money, and at some point with customers that they just have nothing, they're gone, they've disappeared, and there are not a lot of options available left after we exhausted everything else we have. We've worked with customers on payment plans, we sent the debt set off at the state, and everything else. As a last resort, we do send it off to collection agencies. The state law has recently changed, which will allow us to add to the account that's due from the person those collection fee charges. Prior to the state law change, we would have to take that out of what we were given. And if any of you dealt with collection agencies for your business, it can be up to 30% that you're going to lose to the agency. But to allow us to do that, we do have to change the city ordinance to make this possible. The resolution in front of you has been open for a 30-day comment period. We did receive one comment, that's all. And it says, I think it is a great idea to pass the fees on to the customer who is delinquent. The city should not have to shoulder the additional fees in addition to not being paid in the first place. That's the only comment we've received on this item. Approving this would set the ordinance in place and allow us to pass the fees on.
Any questions, comments for Mr. Felix? Thank you, sir. Everybody ready for the question? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item number 5, Councilman Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I move that the ordinance 2023-003, amendments to the City of Sierra Vista Code of Ordinance, Articles 151.03, 151.06, 151.18, and 151.22 be approved.
Second.
Thank you. Staff staff report, Mr. Pregler.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I promise this is the last presentation you'll hear on these code amendments. So at your regular meeting on February 23rd, we presented a series of development code changes that were unanimously recommended for approval by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Now, no comments were received at the public hearings on this item or during the subsequent 30-day public comment period. The ordinance tonight would adopt those amendments as proposed. So to review, the amendments pertain to 4 separate articles of the Development Code. The first set relates to the administration and enforcement article, where minor changes are being included for the sake of clarity and consistency with current practice, as it relates to the issuance of building permits, zoning compliance certificates, and occupancy certificates. The second set amends the special regulations for a particular uses section to establish permitting requirements and performance standards for unattended donation containers. Now, these are for the donation boxes in commercial areas that are unaffiliated with the businesses on the parcel. The third set of changes concerns the site plan review process. These proposed changes will clearly delineate a 3-tier review process to be calibrated in relative proportion to the degree of impact on the community and better help developers determine the appropriate review process. Now, the final amendment deals with district regulations, where staff is proposing changes to how lot coverage is measured and reductions to residential setback requirements to provide more flexibility in home design, particularly for wider homes with 3-car garages, which is a growing trend. Now, on multifamily zone properties, the changes will also help facilitate compact redevelopment with more of an urban context on the West End. Now, the changes to lot coverage standards are in line with requirements adopted by communities that we researched throughout the state and local analysis that we performed using GIS parcel mapping data. So staff does recommend that the City Council move to adopt ordinance number 2023-003 in accordance with the Planning and Zoning Commission recommendations. This concludes staff's report.
Thank you, sir. Questions, comments from Mr. Pregler? Everybody ready for the question? All those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you. Now we have our call to the public, and I think we have one. Welcome back, Mr. C.J. Wallace. As you know, a little light's going to clear here. It'll be green. You have 5 minutes. When it's red, when it flashes red, your time has expired.
All right, perfect. You know, giving honor to the mayor, city council members, and the staff, and also our police force. Thank God for every one of you. I really appreciate it. Today I wanted to be talking about agendas. You know, agenda, that word has gotten some shade, if you will, in the past few years. But not all agendas are bad. Like, this is a special meeting agenda, right? However, when certain people talk about agendas like Agenda 2030, for instance, well, perhaps, you know, some agendas have good connotations to them. Some do not have as good connotations to them. And agendas, it's something about them, because if they take away your freedom, masquerading as something that's good for you, don't think that would be an agenda for us. And one of those agendas, it seems like, would be Agenda 2030. I'd like to talk about local versus global government. According to the old adage, right, the best government is that which governs least. One could say the best government is that which governs least and locally. I think we've done a really good job of that here, governing locally. Governments closer to the people, or over a smaller population, such as county legislatures, you know, local municipalities. For example, your alderman or your county legislator or town supervisors, likely more accessible, right? Our mayor, our council members are more accessible than, say, a U.S. representative or senators. Now imagine how harder it would be to reach and influence a U.S. ambassador to the UN or U.S. representatives to a one-world Congress or Parliament. The further the government is removed from you and your community, the harder it is to reach and influence. I was hearing someone say, you know, you voted for me, didn't you? I should be out here. Boy, that's awesome.
But that's not the case in every city. That's not the case in every state. That's not the case everywhere. A one world government would take the wealth of Americans and redistribute it overseas without their consent. Has that ever happened before? Overrule the U.S. Congress and state legislators if they refuse to accept refugee and migrant transplants. Pass laws that violate the Bill of Rights in order to regulate and suppress freedom of speech, movement, assembly, and worship. And ban the individual right to private ownership of firearms. Now, we believe in private ownership. But if someone came in and said, well, we don't think that that is a good idea, private ownership would be no more. Now, all of these and more egregious violations of our individual liberty would be justified in order to save the planet or save the environment under a masquerade. I don't know how many of us have been manipulated in our lives where we were told, hey, this is going to be good for you, but then you find out when you're in it, it wasn't really good for you. We understand that the Agenda 2030 has 17 goals, all of which seem really good. I mean, getting rid of world hunger, having prosperity, houses for all, no homeless, and it's really, really good. But at what cost is the question that we need to ask? We don't need to outright say, no, we're not doing it, or no, we're not for it. We need to outright ask those questions and watch if they get offended at the questions that we ask. You're trying to come into, let's say, the city of Sierra Vista, and you're endeavoring to bring all of this money in. For what? May I ask for why? We'd love the money, but if it is a part of a one world government scheme or an agenda that we don't necessarily isn't constitutional and is going to take away our freedoms, the answer would have to be no. No offense to the person who asked us. No offense to the offer. We're not being extreme. We just want our freedoms, because I believe with the mayor, council members, and the staff that we're doing a good job already. So all I ask is that we question the money that comes in. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, CJ. Mr. Wallace. Move on to comments. Start with Councilman Rodriguez.
Hey, thank you.
Third.
Hey, we got a lot of time. We got a lot of time.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
You have yourself.
We got a bathroom.
Hey, go ahead. Yes, sir.
Thank you for those. Karen, I don't think I thought you were gonna come up and talk about pickleball, but I'm gonna talk about it since you're not gonna say anything. All right. We have some local pickleball champions in our midst. All right. So I hope you guys know that. The Sierra Vista women's pickleball team, Kitchen Heat. Right. They it was a no-loss league season, if I'm not mistaken. No losses.
What?
If you've never been to the pickleball court, it's a serious game, and they will not just let you walk up there and play with them, especially the Kitchen Heat. They're not going to let you just walk in there and play. You better know what you're doing. So I really applaud them for representing our city. Moving forward, they went over to Arizona State Championship in Casa Grande, right, on Monday. So awesome. Thank you for one, being representing our city anywhere you guys travel. Right, and using the courts all the time. I really appreciate seeing you guys out there. So, congratulations to you and all of your future endeavors. And looking forward to following you guys as you continue to be champions, and you'll be the U.S. champions. Sure, I'm pretty sure. All right, U.S. champions are next. We're gonna pass Arizona. All right. Some academic all-stars were recently honored by the Sierra Vista Herald. A lot of the high school academic all-stars from Buena. One of them in particular, Miss Arby Travis. She's also a youth commission member. Awesome young adult in our area, doing lots of good things. So I want to congratulate her and everybody that was an academic all-star honored by Sierra Vista Herald. Cars for Kids this past weekend was a great event. Saw the mayor out there. It was a beautiful weather. There was a lot of contestants, record-breaking attendance, and fundraising. So I want to thank the whole community that was out there, all the sponsors, the volunteers, even the kids at the Boys and Girls Club who decorated the trophies. That was a nice touch, All right, it made me wish I had something to enter in that contest because I like that trophy that they decorated themselves. That was really, really nice. So it was a great event. Looking forward to more of those. In that, at that event, was talking to the ladies there that also advocate for our canines statewide, but also locally here. For if you have if you're a veteran and have a canine, if you're a local police officer and have a canine, they support those because a lot of people, I didn't even think about this. When dogs retire, they still have bills, right? They're no longer employees at that point, so they cover their doctor bills, things like that, till that dog passes away, unfortunately, one day. They're also raising money right now to get bulletproof vests for the canines. They're about $3,000 each. So I love that people in our community are doing that. And all the way out from Scottsdale, Hayden Animal Hospital also donated all the way down to Sierra Vista to get first aid kits for our canines. So every officer in our town that has a canine with them, they have a first aid kit that came from Hayden Animal Hospital in Scottsdale, Arizona. So I really appreciate them. Normally don't have a lot of good things to say about Scottsdale, but this is a really good thing. So I'm glad for them. Just kidding, Scottsdale. I love you guys. I had the opportunity to go by the airport today, talk to Wayne and his crew. I got a lot of information. I also have a lot of questions. That's a whole nother meeting. But I want to thank him and for the information that I asked for. He had it tip of his fingers. And obviously Miss Stephanie Rader, who works at Public Works, who does a lot of the numbers and stuff like that, who I found out today. So hats off to her. Thank you for information. And that's all I got. Thank you, sir. We'll go to Councilwoman Landry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to add a little bit about the pickleball. That April is National Pickleball Month, so that's pretty cool. And then the Sky Island Pickleball Club has 131 members, which that's really cool. So if you want to check out their website, it's www.skyislandpickleball.com. And they're going to be having their 4th annual High Desert Classic Pickleball Tournament at the end of September. So definitely get out there and check it out and maybe definitely support them. Thank you to Mr. Wilcox for coming today. He definitely knows his stuff and also serves on the Planning and Zoning Commission. So thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Mr. Wallace, for coming and sharing with us, and for everybody else that's here. It's always great to see anybody here. So that's great. Thank you for that. And then coming up at the end of next month in May is the Sky Island Summit Challenge. So if you haven't signed up for it, if you're thinking about it, there's 1, 2, or 3 peaks you can do. If you're not really sure if you want to do it, definitely get out there to the trails. I went out to Ramsey Canyon this past weekend, and it was beautiful out there. So definitely check that out. Doing that challenge is a really great way to kind of get up there and see more. It's gorgeous up there. So get out there. It's beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll go to Councilwoman Messmer.
Thank you, Mayor. The Sierra Vista Historical Society is having their Cinco de Mayo fundraiser at the Ethel Berger Center on May 5th from 5 to 8. So please visit our the Sierra Vista Historical Society's social media pages for all the information. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Go to Mayor Pro Tem Carolyn Humphrey. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, I had something in my throat.
I'm so sorry. Listen, before we go to Council, my mistake. Councilman Benning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
We have 30 minutes.
If Mayor Pro Tem Humphrey goes before me, I really have nothing to say. So I like going last because we get a lot of good information out. So I'll just start with pickleball too. My fiance is just learning how to play. So about a month, give her a month, she'll come join y'all. I don't know if she'll be any good, but she'll come join y'all. And I got scribble scrapples all over here. CJ, always a pleasure. And you know what they say, you have to sign it in order to know what's in it. It's a joke. I don't know if anyone got it. But going back to this month, a lot of people don't know it, but most of us are veterans up here or spouses of veterans. This month is the month of the military child. So, you get a chance to thank them or see them. Just keep them in your thoughts. But most importantly, I wanted to talk about something different. I want to thank my Lord for giving me his son, dying on the cross and then resurrecting on Sunday. And I want to wish everyone else a happy Easter. But those that don't know me that well, I'm a little history buff. I like trends and reasons why things happen. So I'll take you back sometime to tell you why we hide Easter eggs on Sunday. You know, old tradition in the formal days of Lent, a lot of people, eggs were forbidden food. So to celebrate Lent, people would decorate and paint their eggs, put them on display, and then eat them on Sunday. And then that turned into, once you could start having eggs, that turned into our Easter egg hunts that we know today. So just a little bit of history. And Mark, thanks for blessing us tonight. I also want to say on a real good note, the 9.44% is good to hear, Chuck, because it shows us that the 8% delta that we used for projections was a good number, and it should ease some of that 3.3 we're worried about right now. So I appreciate those numbers, and thank you, Chuck. That's all I got, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations to the state champions, the Kitchen Heat. I love the banner. I wish everyone could see it. But yeah, if you want to bring it up
hold it
here
up so we can see it
everyone
on the
can
camera.
see it. Yeah.
So everybody on YouTube can see it.
And the thousands watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Oops.
I like that. You did good.
Well, that's okay. You
I've
made.
seen her play. She
You're
should
making
be.
Sierra Vista proud.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know. It's so
Make sure
cool.
you guys face the camera back there too, so they can see it all on.
There you go.
Thank the city for the beautiful facilities. They're really nice.
You're welcome. You're the reason my fiance wants to play, so.
There you go.
Thank you, ladies.
We'll have to introduce you.
Awesome banner. Thanks for representing.
Oh, the application window for the Sierra Vista Citizen Police Academy is now open, and classes will be held next door in the PD auditorium once a week for 12 weeks from 6 to 9 p.m. And they limit it to 25 people. So, and I know people are already turning in applications. So if you're at all interested, and I can tell you, having graduated, and actually, I might have. I'm lucky. I think I've attended the last class that Chief Thrashino. You're going to teach one more?
I'll be coming back to teach that class.
Oh, they're so lucky. So this is the one you want to be in. Yes.
Give me an application.
Yes. Yeah, even up here. It's rewarding. You'll walk away with a new appreciation for our police department. Also, I didn't see any, we got an invite, but I didn't see an official flyer. Tombstone Brewing Company ribbon cutting on April 18th. So to see them have an opening date is very exciting. I know a lot of
Feels
people.
real now.
I know. A lot of people are looking forward to that, and I wanted to say that we miss seeing Councilmember Johnson up here. We look forward to his return. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you.
Excellent. Congratulations to the Ponytail softball and Little League baseball. Their opening season was privileged. Miss Laura and I was privileged to throw out the first pitch, but also be mindful that there's a speed limit of 15 miles an hour over by Stone Field. And Officer Darrell is not shy about giving out tickets. So please be mindful of the speed limit around those areas. We have a congressional visit on Friday. Senator Kelly will be coming down. Also, he was here on Monday with Major General Hell. Had the privilege of being with him, and Major General Hell, as Major General Hell, briefed the strategic plan to him. And also, yesterday we spent the day with Senator Kirsten Sinema and Congressman Juan Sescomani down in Bisbee, talking about border issues and border crisis. And also, have a great Easter weekend. Resurrection Day is on Sunday. And
I got alibi. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Before you hit the gavel. Sorry.
Alibis.
Give me a
Sorry.
good one.
Speaking of opening day, the Avengers are out there as well. Our special needs sports program. The Avengers were out there as well. If you know anybody that wants to play a sport and you think you can't because they have some kind of special needs, you're wrong. Look up the Avengers Inclusion Organization. They're amazing. They were also out there opening day doing good things. So I want to definitely give a shout out to them. Citizens Police Academy. I was a graduate in 2017. It was an awesome academy. Really, I recommend that as well. University South Scholarship Foundation. I forgot to mention that. Our local University South Scholarship Foundation is opening up their applications for scholarships now online. So look at that online if you need a scholarship to our university here locally. It's really, really awesome what they do. They raise a lot of money to do that for us. And I want to talk one more thing about Karen Carcala, right? So she's got a big reason why I'm in city government right now. You didn't know this, right? So she was the smoke detector person, right? She was the person. Her and Lily, right? We go out there in the van and put up smoke detectors and stuff like that. So I got interested in the program, and she trained me. She showed me how to do it. That was like 8 years ago. People still ask about, because I still do it. People still ask about here to this day. They ask me where you're at, if you're going to come back, what you're doing. So people miss you. Just so you know, Karen, I thank you for all the things you do in our community. You always have. Thank you for giving me my little start into our community and helping me get where I am today. I appreciate you, Karen. Thank you. That's really all I got.
Yes, sir. Also, just kind of sad to see Chief leave. We're going to bigger and better things down at Palominas Elementary School.
You're going to take your handcuffs? You're going to need it.
So I'll challenge his PE team to dodgeball against the council.
Accepted.
So
You can dodge a wrench.
you can dodge a ball. There you go. With that, we are adjourned.